One pinch of magic, one family's greed, and the night the gourds came alive. In the dusty village of Uzama, where the sun baked the earth like clay, grandmother Neka knelt by her barren yam patch, her gnarled hands sifting through lifeless soil. At 78, she was the village's oldest farmer and its poorest. Her son Emeka and his wife Haidima had long urged her to stop tending the land. "Old woman," Haidima would sneer, "even the goats want to eat what you grow." But Neka persisted, singing to the earth each dawn as her ancestors had taught her. One evening, as shadows stretched like dark fingers across the fields, a hunched figure emerged from the baobab grove. The stranger's skin gleamed like polished mahogany, his cloak stitched with cowrie shells that chimed like distant rain. "Neka," he rasped, startling her. No one had passed through Uzama since the drought began. "For your patience, I gift you these." He pressed 3 golden seeds into her palm, each glowing like captured sunlight. "Plant them where your heart feels heaviest. But beware, what grows depends not on the soil, but on the planter." Before Neka could ask his name, he vanished, leaving only the scent of wet earth. That night, Emeka found her staring at the seeds. "Foolishness," he scoffed. "We need food, not more dirt magic." But Haidenma's eyes narrowed greedily. What if they were worth something? Against her instincts, Neka planted one seed by her hut and woke to a towering calabash vine, its fruits shimmering like gold coins. By noon, the entire village gathered, whispering of curses and blessings. Emeka snatched the largest gourd, cracking it open, but instead of water or grain, out spilled 100 tiny bronze beetles that scurried into his pockets. Biting as they went, Haidima screamed as the vine suddenly twisted toward their compound, its leaves whispering warnings only Neka could hear. The golden beetles vanished by morning, leaving only angry red marks on Emeka's arms and a dangerous spark in Haidima's eyes. "We have 2 seeds left," she hissed to her husband that night, pacing their mud brick house. "Imagine what they could grow. A vine that bears jewelry, gourds filled with gold dust." Neka overheard them, her heart tightening like a dried gourd. She hid the remaining seeds in her prayer pouch, hanging it around her neck where her late husband's pendant once rested. But greed has sharp eyes. The next market day, while Neka tended a sick neighbor, Hidima stole the pouch. By sunset, she planted both seeds behind their compound, sprinkling them with perfume to sweeten the magic. That night, the earth rumbled. Neka awoke to screams. A colossal vine had erupted through their kitchen, its thorns dripping sticky sap. It sprouted not gourds, but swollen pods that pulsed like hearts. Emeka hacked at it with a machete, only for the vine to lash back, wrapping his ankle and dragging him toward the largest pod. "Mama, help," he cried, the first time he'd called her that in decades. Neka threw her last pinch of sacred salt at the vine. It recoiled, releasing Emeka just as the pods burst open, releasing not treasure, but swarms of stinging wasps shaped like tiny skulls. The villagers fled as the wasps pursued Haidima specifically, diving at her braided hair until she tripped into the village well. As Neka pulled her gasping daughter-in-law out, she spotted the stranger watching from the baobab grove, his cowrie shells linking in judgment. By noon, the vine had swallowed 7 huts, its tendrils snaking through doorways to empty granaries and overturned cooking pots. Children wailed as roots cracked open the earth beneath the chief's stool, a sacred space untouched for generations. Neka gathered the villagers beneath the acacia tree, her voice trembling but clear. "This vine feeds on greed. Each time we strike it, it grows stronger." "Then we redoomed," cried the blacksmith, whose tools now hung from the vine like grotesque fruit. But Neka noticed something where the vine touched her own hut. The leaves shriveled. Remembering the stranger's words, "What grows depends on the planter," she pressed her palms to the monstrous stem. Immediately, the thorns retracted. "It fears gratitude," she realized, forcing Emeka and Haidima to her side. She made them list every kindness they'd ever received. As they spoke reluctantly, "Mama gave me her portion during the famine." Emeka muttered. The vine began to wither, but Haidima, still bitter, spat. "This is nonsense." At once, the vine lunged, swallowing her whole in a tangle of leaves. A pod formed where she stood, translucent as amber, revealing Haidima trapped inside, her mouth open in a silent scream. The villagers gasped. "Only truth can free her now," Neka said sadly, placing her hand on the pulsating pod. "Daughter, when have you ever been content?" The pod trembled as Haidima's muffled voice finally admitted truths she'd buried for years. "I envied Neka's strength, hated how she worked this dying land with joy while I counted imaginary riches." With each confession, the vine loosened its grip until it expelled her, coughing and drenched in sap. But the plant one tea finished. Now it slithered toward the village well, threatening their last water source. "Enough," Neka shouted. She tore a thorn from the vine and pierced her own palm, letting blood drip onto the roots. "Take my years instead of their futures." The stranger materialized instantly, his cowrie cloak clattering like bones. "Old mother," he warned, "this bargain cannot be undone." She nodded. The vine recoiled, shrinking into a single seedling as Neka's hair turned snow white, her spine curving like a wilted stalk. Emeka caught her as she collapsed. "Mama, why?" "Because love," she whispered, "grows best in poor soil." Around them, the withered vine crumbled to dust, revealing clusters of ordinary but bountiful yam shoots pushing through the earth. The stranger knelt beside Neka, pressing a dry calabash into her hands. Keep this, when their greed returns and it will shake it once. Then he vanished, leaving the villagers staring at their miraculously fertile fields and the grandmother who surrendered her strength to save them. The next harvest was Uzama's most abundant in living memory. Yams grew plump as infants and mango trees sagged with fruit. Yet no one dared take more than their share, not after seeing Neka's withered hands tremble as she poured grain for orphans. Haidima, transformed, now brushed her mother-in-law's hair each evening, whispering apologies like prayers. One moonless night, bandits came to raid their stores. Demika reached for his machete, but Neka shook the dry calabash instead. It emitted not a sound. Yet the thieves froze, then dropped their weapons, weeping over memories of their own grandmothers. By dawn, they promised to send their children to learn farming from Neka. Years later, when the old woman finally passed, the village buried her beneath a new baobab tree, one that sprouted golden flowers each dry season. Travelers still come to taste its nectar, said to reveal one's truest self. As for Emeka and Haidinma, they became keepers of the calabash, shaking it gently whenever greed shadow darkens Uzama. And the stranger, some say he wanders still, sowing seeds where hearts need testing and grandmothers need reminding of their power. For in this world magic withers, but love, like yams, grows deeper with time.